Kestrel locked in first every single time, and now it's Koshka. Koshka, Lance, and Kestrel. Final pickup here for Gankstars Sirus.
You know, I love to see the Kestrel Lyra come through because it is the beginning of making something that can go into Koshka. If they finish this out with a Kroll or something that's actually able to take up the front line, that's pretty good. However, the Gwen may keep them from doing it. You kind of have this, you know...
It takes a lot of that away.
Yeah, exactly. It makes a lot of sense, too. And it's nice to see all of these teams adapting here. Status hanging out towards the bottom side of the map down there. He wasn't able to get the fronts. They were taken away by Phoenix. So it looks like he's just going to go ahead and wait for that. And up in the lane, a little bit of aggression here. Old School able to avoid any damage going on to his person. And it's going to be Wrecked and Status in through this jungle. Wrecked, it dips down to the jungle shop. It's going to be a Stormguard banner right off the bat. Status, he walks right into Mango, the Twirly Death. Status doesn't get the active camo off. He's going to turn around. Throws, Glimmer off the mark. Eats an impale to the face. And that's going to be Status going down. I'm not sure about that decision. Wrecked walks right into this bush with a scout trap, drops the Bright Bulwark, gets the sigil down. It's going to buy a little bit more time for himself and his team. Mingo and Willie on the chase. Impale lands, Twirly Death, 1-2 shots, and he is down 2 kills. The way of Phoenix to start things off. Very reminiscent of the first couple games we had here.
It is very reminiscent, and one thing I've got to say about Gankstars.
How do I like it here? Well, it's not bad. The Wi-Fi, though, straight whack. Would have been fine in 2005. I had to patch into the gigabit connection.
He starts to see that he can get a kill. He turns it up a couple notches where you'd expect it to be turned up 1 notch. And really exciting stuff. But right now, they are in a bit of a hole. A net worth lead building up already for Phoenix. It's pretty tough stuff here.
Yeah, and I think a large part of that is going to be coming down to Druid's farm. Look at his 55 CS to Old School's 27. That's over half there. It's quite incredible. Wrecked, he has that Stormguard banner. I'm still not convinced. It's the second time that we've seen him doing it because I just don't think it works very well, because in terms of the early game damage, you want to provide more of a heal for your teammates, not more damage. There's so much damage coming out from Mango. You don't want to be trying to match that. You want to be just mitigating it with that heal.
And mitigating it, he will. Drops that sigil, of course. Willie landing that impale. It's a lot of damage that comes out of the lance. It's curious to see, though, this lance not picking up a weapon blade early or anything like that. It's right into the roam items there. Rex stunned up against the wall. The sigil and the bulwark able to buy enough time. Look at that drifting dark and Old School coming up from down south there. The Malice and Verdict trying to get some work done. Druid doesn't like that. That's a miss by Willie on the impale. 1 shot's gonna miss as well, but looks like Xingye a little bit with that caster curse. He said he never misses.
And there he misses, of course. Always happens. Well, that was actually a really good trade-off there coming from Gankstars Sirus. They came back with more health, and I think part of the reason is you do have this Lyra, because as a triple ranged, you are able to disengage at this stage of the game and just allow yourself to be healed up, and that's what they're doing. But Phoenix Armada, they put on the minion candy, they're pushing the lane up, and we have to look at this rotation down to the lane. I wouldn't be surprised if we did see some early infusions coming out at this stage.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Gankstars. There's 2 ways I'd like to see them take this fight. It's either sieging very safely with vision on their opponents, or kiting backwards. And right here, you see it's so hard for Willie to get in position. The poke, they are outranged, and that's going to be Druid eating an Oblivion, and a Malice Verdict is going to be missing. A couple glimmers coming out of Status. They're not going to follow through. But that whole idea, and tell me if you agree or disagree, but when this team, Gankstars, is kiting backwards, that is where like all of their power is.
Absolutely, that is their strength, and I have to completely agree with you there. For Phoenix Armada, what they need to do is that they need to use the lockdown they have with the Impale and with the Yummy Catnip Frenzy, and also the Ace is high. Focus on one target, prevent them from kiting back, and this would actually be a really good use of maybe not the Shiver, maybe potentially the Shiver Steel on Willie, just to be able to enable them to close the gap and finish off any targets if they do attempt to run away.
Yeah, and aggression, it can be good from time to time. Whoa! Old School! Arcane Passage and a Yummy Catnip landing. Old School will go down here. Phoenix able to find their 4th kill of the game. 7.5 minutes into this one. Net worth starting to be built upon just a little bit more. Goldmine filling up as well. Wrecked, impaled, stunned up against the turret. Wrecked is down. Nobody saw that one coming. And Status is just forced deep back towards his 2nd turret there, as the tier 1 turret is going to go down. And it looks like Phoenix should be rotating down to get the mid, possibly the gold miner as well.
Such an aggressive dive there coming out from all 3 members, and the synchronized movements there was absolutely beautiful to watch, because normally you would think, well, there's 2 of us, we should be safe, we've got a sigil, but they just completely ignored that and just went straight forward. They got the turrets, and we're beginning to see very similar things happening from the first game. Like, they've got this great 4K gold lead. They're ahead in kills, and Gankstars Sirus, they need to be really careful now.
Yeah, I mean, I think they need to respect the Impale coming out of this lands. If it lands, like you said, and he lands the majority of them, most likely one of these squishy targets is going to go down, right? And right there, it was a perfect example. You get impaled right next to a turret, you get slapped up against it, stunned, and it's really easy for Phoenix to follow up there. So positioning going to be very much a key to victory in these fights for Gankstars, especially up against the likes of Willie on this lance. Gold Miner going to be taken by Phoenix here. Wreck stunned up against the wall, impaled as well when able to take that gold mine right there. Immense gold payout, 300 gold going into their coffers right there. 9 minutes in, 5-0 advantage of Phoenix. Gankstars definitely in this game still, but at this rate, if they don't find a way to stop the bleeding, things are going to get tough real quick.
There's the one thing with that Lance is that Lyra using her bulwark is really good at stopping Lance because it stops two of the skills from being used. But if Team Phoenix just waits for the bulwark to drop after 2 seconds, it means Mango can jump in without any fear of that bulwark coming out again.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things, and one of the worst things you could do is actually throw that bulwark out at the wrong time. It just spells go. It almost tells the opponent when to actually engage. It's easier than having your own captain do it. You see that right bulwark use right there as a Koshka. Drifting Dark coming down, 3-man impale, 2-man get involved. Livian's gonna come out, and that's gonna cancel off the aggression. Druid taking a lot of damage. He turns around with a buckshot, but he goes down. First kill for Gankstars. They are on the board. It's going to be a sigil coming out right here. Mango around the backside, teleports home. Willie hit with the Malice and the Verdict. He'll activate Boots to get himself in a better position, but Rekt doesn't want to let him away. Activates his own Boots. Arcane Passage forward. Rekt really trying to find this Lance. He's going to boost his whole team forward here with a little bit of move speed. Status able to take the mid away from Phoenix. That's definitely going to be a boost for his team. And they're down into this jungle shop. Let's see if they want to grab any items here as they're moving backwards. But you still see the positioning and movement out of Willie. Very aggressive here. Impale lands. Old School stunned up against the wall. Mango very close to getting here. And it's going to be Status able to get his own mid as well. So important right here. I cannot stress enough how important it is that they are gaining these treants. Like the regeneration coming off this will help stall out and stop the snowball coming from Phoenix.
Absolutely, the sustain you get from the treant is actually very strong. I think a lot of people underestimate the power of just taking that one treant away. And I'm a bit worried about this because the last time they dived on this turret, Gankstars Sirus were prepared because that was the second time that they've done it this game. And they just completely took advantage of the aggression coming out from Phoenix and just turned it on its head. So Phoenix definitely need to be a bit more cautious, and I would wait for the Crucible to come out.
And one of the things, Shingy, I want you to talk about right now, there were 2 infusions that were picked up by Phoenix that were really not put to good use. We'll hold that. Maybe we talk about it after the Impale and the Githian comes through to see if they want to chase onto the Status very far forward. He gets that active camo down. The Yummy Cannon Frenzy comes around. They turn it around. Fountain comes out. They find the kill onto Koshka. Druid on the run.
Druid!
Githian wall knocks backwards. The Malice hits. The Verdict misses. Old School finds the kill with a basic. Willie's on the run, and we know this Lance is pretty hard to track down. He's going to be down in near that jungle shop. Let's see if he gets himself out of here. Gankstars really turning up here in the last couple minutes. They're going to see this Lance wrecked around the top side right bulwark. Malice Verdict coming through. Looks like Willie should be able to get himself out of here. 2-man impale. Cheeky plays out of Willie, but Gankstars absolutely turning this game around in the last couple minutes here. When it seemed like they were pinned in up against their turret and they couldn't do anything. And I don't know, was it mistakes out of Phoenix? Was it Gankstars just capitalizing on those mistakes? Were they making plays?
It was both. We saw both happening. Phoenix, their infusions actually ran out from, I think, coming out from Mango at that moment in time. So we saw a little bit of dip in terms of the power that they would provide. And we did see some mistakes coming out from them. I think Phoenix definitely overstayed their welcome. Gankstars just took advantage of that. And as a result, we're going to see Phoenix, they're going to be taking the gold mine because they all know that Gankstars Sirus, they were very low on energy, so they were forced to teleport back to base there.
All right, and also Status did pick up his own infusion in that last fight, so he was infused up, popped it right as they got into that engage. Pretty good stuff right there. And we'll see what his next item going for is with that heavy steel. Maybe he's getting into that breaking point. And right now, the thing is though, you know, Gankstars can't really afford to be overconfident, even though they have won the last 2 engagements. It was really them taking advantage of the aggression of Phoenix, and I think that's what they need to continue to do so. But right here, that's aggression out of Gankstars. They turn it up. That's Wrecked with the engage.
Oh,
Livian's gonna come out right on top of them. It's going to be Old School trying to run away on the backside. Mango wants to dive under the turret, doing pretty good work. Old School's down. It's going to be Status getting good damage onto Willie. They've traded 1-for-1 right now. Mango pretty low. Yummy Catnip Frenzy going to come in, but blocked off. Very nice job. Status doing work. One shot, one miss, but Status, active camo, needs to chase down on Willie. Rekt giving his ally and himself a little bit of a boost moving forward. Rekt wants this, but it looks like Status not quite ready to turret dive just yet. Maybe later. Rekt stunned up. Willie just letting him know that he is not happy about what just happened.
Absolutely not. And I think the issue with that last team fight was that we were seeing Druid being left alone. And I think that's the second time in a team fight it's happened. They're leaving Druid alone. He's got a very short range. And Gankstars Sirus are just completely taking advantage of that fact. And it just seems like to me that Willie, he doesn't know who to protect. Is it Mango? Is it Druid? I would actually say he needs to protect Druid. Mango has his mobility, so he is able to weave in and out of these fights. Druid, he has a skedaddle, but it's not as powerful.
Well, I've got to say, I underestimated what Gankstars could get done on the aggressive front. From where I'm sitting, it felt like they're really good at sieging, they're really good at poking and kiting backwards, but that was just full-on aggression onto a key target, and they made it work.
Definitely, and I think one thing I want to point out is Mango's build right now. We're seeing him going for this Aftershock, and I don't think that's necessarily the best item that he should have picked up. I would have preferred to see that Shatter Glass just in terms of pure damage. Aftershock works so well on very, very tanky heroes. We don't have that. Oh, Willie!
Yeah, Willie's going to be stunned up there. And an Arcane Passage forward. Rekt, really, really aggressive plays here. Oblivion's going to come out with a Yummy Catnip Frenzy onto Old School. Can they follow up? Druid's trying to find the damage, but Mango taking a lot of damage as well. Both teams popping their fountains there, keeping their core players alive, doing a very good job. Hard to believe nobody actually died in that engagement.
I think these skirmishes are getting closer and closer, and what we're seeing that's really, really fantastic coming out from Gankstars Sirus is that every time Mango's trying to use his Yummy Catnip Frenzy, Old School's blocking it and then throwing out the Drifting Dark, so it's doing a lot of return damage at the same time. Mango's forced to back out, Druid's forced to back out, and they just all have to run away. It's a really nice defensive position that Gankstars Sirus are taking up.
It really is. It's actually so incredibly tough to get onto a target if you do not lock them down and burst them down from 100 to 0. And Gankstars is able to get backwards with the control that they have. And like you said, Status with that active camo early in that fight onto Willie, it kind of just disrupted everything they wanted to do. I want to mention right now, Druid's second infusion just timed out, and they really didn't get enough done with it.
They absolutely did not, but he's gone for a new infusion. They're just constantly infusing. Mango's, his crystal infusion is up as well. So they're just all about the burst. But Gankstars Sirus, they're retaliating by picking up their own reflex block, own infusion. So all three members, hang on, is this going to be the steal here?
Rekt stunned up.
Oh,
Rekt cannot afford to go
Rekt.
down. He's going to War Dread for his team. Old School on the backside. Rekt is down, but they've done a lot of damage. Yummy Catnip Frenzy over the wall. Mango doing good work. Old School's dead. Status is going to die. That's the ace. Phoenix finding the fight that they needed right there. Perfect engage. Man, I feel like Rekt a little bit
Far forward?
too aggressive. Yeah, a little too far forward with the rest of his team. And it's also a positioning thing, right?
It absolutely is. And when you've got this, oh no, I think this could be the end of the game.
This could be
This
the
could
end of the
be
game.
it.
Rekt has got to do some work. They got to get on target right here. Gankstars will be not going to the finals if Phoenix are able to close this out right now. They can't do it!
Oh,
Phoenix! You're going to take it 3-1 here in a game where it felt like Gankstars had completely turned around the momentum. It took